Hi, Scorpio. This is a mid-September reading for 2020, and I've been shuffling off camera. Shuffle a few times on camera so you can see it. Now I'm pulling your cards. See if I can adjust that a little bit. Libra actually just had the same. Actually, the World and the Lovers in the Libra reading were both in the exact same positions, but these other cards are not the same. Queen of Cups was in that reading too, and I've been, like I said, I was shuffling off camera. I shuffled the cards really well. I do think it's funny that those two ended up in the same spot. The Hangman. I wanted to mention really quickly, I've been saying in all the readings that I've done in the last couple of days that um, times are financially tight for me at the moment. So if you're at all interested in a personal reading, I'm doing them very inexpensively. So if you wanted one question readings, um, they'd probably be about like these, and they'd be $8. I think it was $8, and two question readings would be $11. So if you're all interested in that, check the description box to how to get a hold of me, and we'll work that out. And if not, just enjoy this reading. Give me just 1 second to take this in. I feel like you're kind of longing for your world to be emotionally reinvigorated. That you want to experience an emotional change where maybe you're feeling a little bit stagnant, maybe a little bit lonely. When you look at your world, I kind of feel like you're a little bit disappointed, and you see potential of how things could evolve, but the path to that isn't straight, and it's not clear how you're going to get to where it is that you're trying to go. I think that you have a destination in mind, but it's not entirely clear how to get yourself from where you are to where it is that you want to go. And like I said, you kind of are feeling lonely and frustrated. And I think that the path forward from where you're standing right now looks like it's going to be one filled with conflict and struggle. Like, I'm going to have to pull extra cards for this because the main spread here is like very much clear in what it's saying. The path ahead looks like an uphill one, and that you feel weighed down with the burdens of where you've been and where how the trip to where you want to be looks like it's likely to play out. Does that make sense? What? You can't answer. I hope that makes sense to you. But I do think that your destination that you have in mind is real. Because we wrap up with the Eight of Pentacles. I think that, or the Ace of Pentacles, excuse me. Did I say the Eight of Pentacles? We wrap up with the Ace of Pentacles as far as this main spread goes. And I do think that there is something of value on offer where you want to go. It's just this persistent feeling that the path ahead is going to be brutally difficult for some reason. Maybe it will be brutally difficult. I definitely feel like you're intimidated by it. I feel like there's a part of you that wants to start walking even though you know how difficult it's going to be and what you're sacrificing and leaving in the past in order to make this happen. But I do feel like right now you're just in a state of thinking about this, of observing it, of reflecting on what you're seeing. And you're not actually starting the journey yet. Why is it that Scorpio feels so like this path will be so burdensome? King of Wands and the Knight of Swords. I think that you're scared that if you own your power and authority and do what it is that you want to do, that you will be attacked by others, that you will be ridiculed, and people will be angry with you, is what I'm seeing here. It's what I see when I look at these two cards. That maybe that people are talking behind your back if you do what it is that you want to do. And so you're just seeing conflict and burden if you step on the path that you're... I really feel like you're just thinking a lot about doing this. That there's this thing that you want to do, that you see the end that you want to reach. It's like you're up on a mountain and you're looking over to another mountain. And what you want is over there. And you want it really badly. But when you look down into the valley that you'll have to cross to get there, you see a raging river, you see fires, you see maybe an enemy army. You just see, from your vantage point, you can see either real or imagined issues that are going to pop up from starting down the road that you want to travel. Is this worth it for Scorpio if they wanted to take this path? Yes. Yes. Clearly. We've got the Six of Wands. Is the card of victory. There are other cards in the spread that are suggesting this to me, but the two main cards that I'm picking up all this conflict and struggle from are the Five of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So it is this kind of Wands energy where you are... So maybe it's something like, if I follow the passions that I want, my passions will lead me into struggle. My passions will lead me into conflict with people around me. And the weight may just be too much to carry. It may be too much of a burden. And maybe I should just stay on the mountain that I'm on. I'm already on the top of a mountain. I don't have to climb another mountain. I don't have to deal with all the issues in the valley below. I don't have a boat to cross that river. I haven't swam in a couple years. I'm pretty out of shape. But then this feels like the reality is that if you follow your passions, it will actually offer you the victory that you're hoping for. It will take you to this Ace of Pentacles. It will, you will be justified in the end. And maybe the fact that you think that these people will attack you or hate you, maybe that's all in your head. Maybe it's not. Maybe people will hate you. Maybe people will be angry. Maybe you'll let your family down or something. Maybe you'll let your friends down. But what you want to do is real. And what you want to go after is meant for you. And it's important that you know that. And it's important that you trust that. I'm going to pull... I shuffle these a bunch of times off camera, and this card has come up. It's still on the bottom of the deck, and I just want to point it out. The Patience card from this Energy Oracle deck. It's been in the last 2 or 3 readings that I've done. I've only done one this morning, but it was at the bottom of the deck for that one. And then after shuffling a bunch of times, it's still on the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to shuffle more. It's funny, Adjacent Possibilities is there now, which represents, these possible outcomes, these are very distinct outcomes of what you're fearing could happen, the potential that you see of how badly things could go wrong if you take the steps down this path, if you start down this path, and how things could go very right, how you could get everything that you are thinking you want from doing this. Can I get a couple cards for clarity? Adjacent Possibilities, the card I was just talking about, and Happy Family. Blossoming Abundance at the bottom of the deck. So it's funny that I mentioned conflict with your family. Potential conflict, of feeling of like you let your family down, or that you let the people around you down. So I'll just reiterate this again about this Adjacent Possibilities card is talking about your fears about how things might go wrong versus the potential for things to go very right. And if, this Happy Family card and the Lovers are the only things that I see that are real, and the Queen of Cups, that really kind of suggest that this is about relationship stuff. But maybe it is about a relationship, and like I've already talked about it without that context, but I'll throw it out here at the end since this card came up, that if this is something about a relationship that you want to move towards, there's a real possibility that things could go really, really well. That this could be the person for you, even though for some reason I feel like this was a theme in Libra's reading too. Even though the cards are very different, except for, there are some repeat cards. The Hermit's in a different position. The Queen of Wands is in a different position. And like I said from the start, the World and the Lovers cards are in exactly the same spot. But aside from that, everything's different. The vibe of a lot of this is really different. But there is a similar message of something standing in the way. And in their reading, it's very clearly a relationship. But there's something standing in the way of where you want to be and where you are that is preventing forward movement. And at some point, I really think that you're going to have to take the steps forward. The hangman again, just like driving that point home, the hangman at the bottom of the deck, that there is something that, for some reason, that you can't move forward, or you're not moving forward yet with what it is that you want to do. And at some point, you're either going to have to do that, or you're just going to have to abandon this and forget about it. Because you are not going to be able to stay where you are forever. And you don't want to stay where you are forever. Why would you? Why would you want to just sit there thinking about the possibilities about how things could go wrong or right without ever doing anything? It's going to be exhausting. That will guarantee that you end up at this Ten of Wands, because you will be exhausted by the burden of the potentials of the situation that you can't shake. So eventually you're just going to have to move. You're going to have to do something. Anyway, I hope that resonates with you, Scorpio. I hope that you're having a good rest of your month, and that this situation resolves itself in the best possible way for you. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.